That's amazing. So, I mean, he's not here, but he's doing the dedicated journalism angle, and we definitely respect that. So have fun with that, Tom. Sounds like a really fun opportunity, honestly. Uh, Before we open the show, if you guys are at all curious again about the nifty classic blacklight note card sets last week, yeah, it was last week. No, early this week? I don't know. I did a demo video lifting up the product. It is a set of 24 cards reprinted from the 70s, blacklight reactant, perfect gift idea. If you are at all interested in that, check with your local comic book store for all of the Sufalsians. Rainbow Comics should still have one or two, and if they don't have them in the store, ask if they can order one for you. Still plenty of time. See if we can get that in and get that under the tree for the right person. So, but I am loving my set. I am very excited about it. Check that video out, though. Those cards look amazing under blacklight. So, without further ado, I guess we should open the show. This is like so weird. It's just, we're like the dynamic duo. I don't know. We're going to do it, Mark. We're going to do it. Hey, everybody, it's a comic book look. It's your boy, John on Demand, a.k.a. so corporate these days. I really am. Do you see this hair? Dang. So corporate, so snazzy. And of course, joined by co-host extraordinaire. There can only be one. Co-host extraordinaire. I almost went Midwest Highlander on autopilot. Are you the Highlander this time? Is that where Tom's at?
I'm not taking Tom's Highlander position.
Yeah! But brother from another mother, great from another state, begging aboard a bad boy, straight from Tennessee. Mark is in the building. Comic book Buddha, as it were. Look at that shrine. And we are at the tail end of November 29th, 2023. Exciting day in comics by the looks of it there. So lots of fun offerings. I can't even tell you like what all is going on right now in the nerd universe. I have to say really quick on the TV side of things, Invincible season 2. Wow. I haven't read the books yet, so I need to read those omnibus. I have them all chilling on my bookshelf. I do need to check that out, and so that is absolutely a priority of mine. There is rumor that we're going to do a review show going into Invincible coming up here, so that is intimidating to me because that's a lot of content, and there's a lot of eyes on that series just because of the popularity of the show. So I wanted to lift that up. The other one I wanted to lift up was actually the Boys spinoff. Was it Generation V? Amazon Prime original. That one is a lot of fun. I was very surprised at how much I liked it. So I went into it kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not. And then it turns out that I kind of do. So it's a little guilty pleasure of mine. Definitely recommend checking it out. And that one, Amazon Prime is where that one's at. Amazon Video. So, on the book side of things, though, first of all, we had kind of a comic book holiday, and it wasn't Free Comic Book Day because that's not until May. But, Mark, how was Thanksgiving? How was Black Friday for you?
It was awesome, man. My shop had a buy one, get one on graphic novels, like comic book supplies. I got some boxes that is buy one, get one on those too. And just a lot of good deals to be had. And I'm not like a big, like, go out and try to get TVs and all kinds of stuff on Black Friday. It's just not my thing, but I always do make sure I go to the local comic shop, support them, get some good deals. Yeah. I was able to get some, I didn't know we were going to talk about this, but I did get some. So I can probably grab them real fast. Right?
Do it.
I did get, for the buy one, get one free, I was able to scarf Nice House on the Lake, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I think I got Volume 1 in singles. I know I did not finish it. So when I look through my things, I find out, I actually had that already. I can give away Volume 1 to someone as a gift. And then I know I have not read or collected Volume 2. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then also got Riddler Year One. This just came out, so I was really happy to get that. This was actually a variant cover to a graphic novel. I'm not really familiar with graphic novels doing that, but I really loved that cover. So stoked to read this.
That's
and
sharp.
I believe it's by the guy who acted as Riddler in the last Batman movie,
nice.
Paul Dano, I believe.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, and that cover is amazing. Yeah, variant covers on trades and such. That's that's new territory.
Different,
not mad about it, certainly. No. But definitely new. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you tore it up and had fun.
got that one as well. Lonely City,
Woo!
Catwoman, and Cliff Chang did all the art and wrote this, to my understanding. So I remember when this was coming out, it was the Black Label, the bigger issues, and the covers were all phenomenal. I was like, dang, I should have got in on that series. So really happy to get the graphic novel. Not read or collected any of these.
Oh, sure.
So looking forward to those.
Heck yeah. Well, cool. In the comments here, Sunny D's joining us already, just saying hype. And hype right back at you, Sunny D. Thank you so much. And thanks for tuning in on YouTube, my man. Well, tonight, Mark and I we're just kind of like, what do we want to talk about? And so we figured we'll just talk about recent reads and books that we've been enjoying, because that's what we do here at A Comic Book Look, is that investigative journalism with comic books and all things nerdy and great. Okay. Really quick, though, I didn't talk about Black Friday for me. I had a chance to quest down to Sioux City. So for those of you that aren't familiar with the Midwest layout, Sioux Falls is in South Dakota. Sioux City is an hour south in Iowa, right outside of the state of South Dakota. So you go south towards Sioux City. It says welcome to Iowa, and then boom, you're in Sioux City. Boom. And then when you leave, welcome to South Dakota, the state sign. So I had a chance to go to Starfighter Comics because I wanted to support an artist friend of mine. Gabriel Perez was doing a signing event of an exclusive cover that he drew for a comic book on behalf of Nebraska comic book retailer Comic Book Cop. So the Comic Book Cop is a shop in Grand Island, Nebraska, and Gabriel and him are good friends. And so he did this cover. It has the shop's logo on it, and he was doing a signing event at Starfighter, lifting that up. So first of all, there's a lot going on just in that sentence, right? If I type that out, it'd be like 4 lines long. But what I like about that is that relationships in the industry are so cool to see, and that, from shop to shop, it's like, yeah, we support you. You're a good human, good artist. And that's why I wanted to make that trip down there to support him. Weather was a little dicey. So we had ice on the roads. And so I was going a little slow and conservative on my way down to Sioux City. My friend Aaron was with me, and we just had a really great time and great conversation. On the way back, I got a little more bold on the road, but the guys there were definitely surprised to see me, like, what are you doing here? But I just wanted to come support him, and he was just such a ham. So for the book, I did get copies for all of the Comic Book Look boys. We are going to read it and review it, and hopefully get not only Gabriel on the show, but hopefully some of the creative team of the interiors as well. So more to come on that, you guys. Book details and all that. It will be a show in the future. I just got to get a book mailed out to Mark. Probably throw in some Christmas goodies or something. I don't know. Figure it out. But definitely looking forward to that. And just shout out to Gabriel Perez again here. Oh, I lost a Mark. He'll be right back. But I wanted to just give a big shout out to Gabriel Perez, because it's really cool to see someone just out there doing a thing, publishing a work, and just crushing it. And so I think that is entirely just super commendable. There's a Mark. Mark, I was just giving Gabriel mad props for like getting the cover out there, getting it done and stuff. Sure. And I just love seeing that, So I don't know. Mark, what's the local scene out? Like, do your shops boost up local creators as well?
I think they're interested in that. There's just not a lot of action around here. We did, there was a shop in Murfreesboro about, 30, 40 minutes from where I live that got Jonathan Glapian out, who did like a lot of the Dark Knight's Metal, variant covers and some of the artwork. I know he's like in with Scott Snyder a lot on some of his stuff. So every now and then you get some creators out like that, but there's not a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, it's and I think it's just getting more and more prevalent too. And just other shops in the areas, different cities that carry indie books but aren't necessarily a comic book store, I think is really neat as well. And so shout out to all the retailers that are just making space and supporting, because that's the name of the game, is just lifting each other up, and I love that. So that's cool. Well, I suppose enough of that. Let's get to the good stuff, which is flipping some pages. Mark, you, I think, have one more than I do, so I'm going to have you kick it off.
Cool, man. Just got some singles here. This all came out today. Got this one called This Little Piggy from Scout Comics. This is issue number 1. Phenomenal book. Like, blew me away. Loved it. just in case anybody is going to read it, I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
But I mean, if you read the previews world synopsis for it or anything, it pretty much does spoil it. Kind of a rite of passage though. There's like a geeky kid, and he's getting picked on at school, which we've seen that scenario before in comics and movies. But him and his dad are like planning this hunting trip, and they go on the hunting trip, and ends up being a little more than you bargained for as the reader. You figure out what's going on here, like who he's hunting. Won't spoil the rest of that, but it just really sets it up really nicely. It's really good. If you've ever seen the movie Surviving the Game with Ice-T, it's very much that type of vibe. So,
okay.
Very good comic though. Very could probably call it a horror comic. But sets things
I was
up
gonna say
nicely.
the cover's intense, man.
Yes.
I mean, jeez.
Highly recommend.
All right. Well, first of all, I don't know how I can follow that. I'm going to do my best here. I honestly have slowed down on picking up a lot of new books, but I still have plenty of books to read, some of which are fairly recent. And so I figured, I would kind of cater this episode to that, because that's just kind of what I've been reading. And I was just kind of like thinking, what do I want to do? And then instead of single issues, I just want to do like a whole series just to provide kind of my thoughts on it. So up first, it is very opportune that Sam and Tom are not here, because I wanted to lift up Animal Castle Volume 2. So I am out of the doghouse because they are not here. If they jump in the comments while we're doing this, I'm going to croak. I also wanted to lift up the Free Comic Book Day version. So quick thing about that. I thought for sure that these would be twinning, right? Twinsies. No. So it is the same cover, but the interior was an interesting decision. And I've been keeping my eye on this stuff because we're also in the process of publishing some stuff coming up and just seeing how people are doing things. This was interesting because half of it was actually from the volume 1. And then there was some volume 2 in there too, issue 1, but not the whole issue. And so it was really just an interesting layout just to see what they chose and why. And it weirdly enough worked. I actually read this after I read issue 1, just because I wanted to have a firm understanding of, what was going on in here. But I appreciate the difference in that, and glad I have both, because I'm just a completionist and a super weirdo. But volume 2 for Animal Castle, I have issues 1, 2, and 3. There is word about there being a to be continued on here. I don't think issue 4 actually ever came out though. Because we checked on the Diamond website when I was down in Sioux City, and it did not show that it had released yet. So I am hoping that this is not one of those we'll wrap it up in 5 years situations, because I'm over here. They ended it with the Bull president saying, let them think they're getting an election, but they're going to vote for me. And it's like this total cliffhanger. And I'm like, but what's going to happen? And I'll never know, because I don't know a release date. So this is like the worst thing ever. So if anyone sees Animal Castle Volume 2, Issue 4, let your boy know, because I gotta have it. Gotta have it. This series got a lot of constructive criticism when I brought it up previously by my peers that are not here.
I've still not read it, so I can't chime in. I don't know if
it's heavy reading. It is. And I feel like in this volume, the lettering, the font is actually smaller. So it just feels like a lot. It's a very heavy read, but the concepts in it are very interesting, and it has a lot of themes in there that I don't know. I can't even. I don't know. I get a kick out of it because it's just so dark and real, but it's with animals, and it's the craziest thing. So, and I would definitely say, once I get my mitts on issue number 4, I'll be able to give a proper rating of any sort. But until I complete the arc, I can't really speak to that, just because I have a lot of question marks as to where we're going there. And that is my first pick.
Cool. I've got Batman 89 Echoes. This is like a volume 2 of Batman 89. If you've read the volume 1 series, they don't call it volume 1, volume 2, but there was like a previous Batman 89 series, and this is following up with that, obviously branched off of the Michael Keaton movies. But this is a nice first issue, bringing it back. what I really like about these series is just like the 89 Batman movies where they would cram like a lot of villains all into one movie. They do the same thing with the comic book series. You've got Harley Quinn in here. It's Scarecrow's kind of introduced. It's kind of interesting to see them in this universe because they were not in the movies. So I find this interesting. I was 9 years old when Batman 89 came out with Michael Keaton. Loved it. Later when the Penguin one came out with Danny DeVito. So nice to get a comic book series here. I think you can kind of see Scarecrow, maybe.
Ooh, Dr. Jonathan Crane. Look at that.
Great cover.
Yes. Oh, that's a great cover. I'm biased though. Give me the fear toxin. I need all the fear.
I remember that was Halloween a couple years ago for you.
I mean, a gentleman doesn't tell tales, but all right. Up next, this was a lofty read, and boy, I'm glad I took time to read this. This is not new, but it was new to me, and I am here for it. And we are talking 8 Billion Genies, issues 1 through 8. And actually, I'll save that.
Huge fan.
Huge fan of this series. I did not think I would like it this much. Holy smokes. It was just so fun, first of all, seeing the writing style, how it took us from character to character to character while keeping everyone else kind of in orbit. But it was a very interesting formula to watch just from issue to issue. Because I'm like, man, we got 3 issues left. Like, how is this all gonna, go? That paired with the artwork, I mean, this is just right up there with like Sweet Tooth for me in terms of level of enjoyment, where I just couldn't stop reading it. I think that I read this in 2 days for the 8 issues, only because I got like interrupted during the first time. But I thoroughly loved it. The one thing I wanted to lift up was this gorgeous Tony Moy variant cover. I got this actually in Denver, and you'll notice all this gold Sharpie craziness. He actually drew little genies all over the cover for me. And I love this cover so much, and had a really good conversation with him about, what we're doing at Bamboo Panel Studios. And he actually may be interested in working with us on a variant cover. So more to come on that too.
Very cool.
But that was definitely just such a neat connection to make in Denver. And I love this series so much. So all in all, very delighted by that. This one, having read the whole thing, I don't know. I'm not really sure about even giving it a beer rating anymore, because I don't know. If I gave it a beer rating, it'd be 6 out of 6.
Yes,
for sure. But I feel like we're going to come up with something new when we do like all the video and all that hoo-ha. So
sure.
Yeah. But 6 out of 6 beers for now, just for old time's sake.
For sure. Same. Flesh-eating cheerleaders. This is the holiday special. Sounds a lot better than it actually is, and I hate to say that, but it's
no way.
It's just so short. I mean, it's like maybe 5 pages long, and it's not bad, but I was just wanting more.
Yeah.
But basically, it's like Santa Claus is on his deliveries, and then the flesh-eating cheerleader aliens like distract him. Then they put their little worms into his bag for him to like take out to like deliver, so they can like spread their people and make converts. So very cool. It should have been fleshed out a little bit more. It's like super short, and then it does like just the little pin-up pages as well, which I mean that's fine, but I would have rathered more story.
Right.
And then it goes into like a second story, I think from I'm not for sure. Okay, After Dark. I think that's the actual comic company.
Oh.
Like another comic series that they do gets another little short story that didn't really have anything to do with Christmas. Wasn't necessarily a bad comic. Yeah. I just wanted more of this. I wanted more of a fleshed out. It's supposed to just be a one shot, which was fine, but I would have liked just more depth. But yeah, it's cool though.
Dude, heck yeah. Well, kudos for checking it out. Those have been popular. I remember when I was at Rainbow, I would get asked about that series, and I'm like, the first time I did, I remember like, that's a thing. But then I'm like, like I know at Rainbow, and I've seen it at other shops too, like they have a zombies section. I mean, zombies are all the rage. You got your Marvel zombies, zombie this, zombie that. I mean, it's yeah. Blame The Walking Dead, I guess. I don't know.
I guess.
Chad's checking in with us here. Hey, John, that's me. I felt weird saying my name out loud, even though I was reading the comment. I don't know. So dumb. But Chad, good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I was joking with myself, like, maybe I should do a coffee tonight, and then I'm like, dude, it's like 8 at night. Absolutely not. It's a school night. It's a school night, man.
Yeah. Get your homework done.
That's right. Speaking of getting my homework done, this next one is really, I don't know how to feel about this, okay? I got this because I was interested in kind of learning more about the characters. So this is Defenders Beyond issues 1-5. All right. I on one hand, I am beyond disappointed with everything about this book. On the other hand, I'm actually really delighted. And it's really weird. There is the Beyonder in here. It talks about the Beyonders. It talks about Galactus's mom. It talks about Eternity and shows this panel where Eternity kind of looks all trippy and weird. Artwork is actually pretty cool. And then just like this dual cover with Loki is pretty sick. I got this variant cover. So ultimately, I'm kind of here for the cosmic nods in this series. But a lot of the characters didn't really need to be there. I'll just say it that way. The other thing that I thought was interesting though was there was the I can't remember what it was called at this point. It's the it's like that mask that looks like Eternity that has like the universe glittering on it, and then you put it on and it lets you mirror the powers of the person you're facing. That mask appeared in Marvel issue 1000, whatever that was, that big publication like 1 or 2 years ago or something. And so finally it came into play here. And I was just kind of like, huh. And to me, when that was presented in Marvel 1000 or whatever I think it was Marvel issue 1000, when that was presented, I was like, oh, that's gonna be a big deal. And then I'm like, oh, it's impacting a 5-issue miniseries.
What year did that come out?
With Tigra. Oh, this was like earlier this year.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not terrible, but not great. I don't know. I mean, and some of the covers were just bomb and colorful. And I'm not mad about it, but I also just was like, I don't know if I love you or hate you. Like, I feel like this is someone, if I was going out for a beer with this series, I would get this series of beer and then just be like, oh, I got to take a call really quick. Go to my car.
Come back.
Yeah, and then nope out. That's where I'm at with that. Have you ever read something like that though? It's just like it wasn't bad. I'm glad I did, right?
Right.
But it's not one that I'm gonna put on my wall proudly.
He's not feeling it.
I don't know. It was just like, yeah. Chad, what do you got here? It was weird not seeing you on Wednesday. Wednesday review to ramble. On the stream, you mean, or in the store? Yeah, Chad, it's it's definitely a change of pace, that's for sure. But I was telling Mark this before we went live that this is, and I'm saying this very carefully only because I'm still getting used to my routine, right? Because this is my first week, on the new job. But I will say that it really shakes up your perspective of comics. And like for me, I was telling Mark that I'm actually, when I come home now, I'm like rushing to do all the fun stuff, including reading comics, which is how I'm able to start crushing some of this volume I've built up. And so it's a bummer not being at Rainbow, but it's also cool to still get to stream through Rainbow, which I did before I worked at Rainbow, but also still get to connect with everyone on here. And through the conventions and all the other stuff too. So, but no, I totally get it, Chad. It's cool. It's just, a period of adjustment, and you're still going to have to put up with me on the internet airwaves, and I'm really sorry about that. Tony's checking in with us here. Evening. Hey, Tony. And he is saying, I won't be able to see you then at the shop. That is correct, Tony. I will be a SuperCon exclusive for you. So once a year, John will appear. There you go. But no, you'll see me around, Tony. This South Dakota is way too small of a state. Let's not kid ourselves. We'll see each other at some point. You'll be like, and I'll be like, what up? Chad is asking a good question. Did I get Howard the Duck #1? Chad, good question. I did not pick up Howard the Duck #1. I actually have been slowing down on my active collecting right now, just for personal preference of wanting to get caught up on all the cool books I did buy. Mark, on the other hand, did get it.
I haven't read it, but did pick it up.
Yeah. And Oh, Tony, what did I miss? Where did you get a new job at? Tony, I did get a new job, so I'm not at the shop anymore. But I am actually not releasing where I'm working at for right now, just because of privacy. I want to get settled in a little bit, but definitely happy to fill you in when I see you next. Uh, Chad, and I like Sam though. Sam is awesome. Sam is amazing, and Sam is such a great addition to a comic book look. He's a great addition to Rainbow, and I saw him and Casey are rocking it with Rainbow Live. So kudos to them, for keeping that torch going and bringing that good energy to the store. So absolutely. Well, geez, you guys, both of you just make us feel so popular tonight. Mark, that was my last book.
Cool, man. I just got one more that I read, and then one other one that we'll highlight as well. But Scary Christmas. This is issue number 4. These come out every year from American Mythology. It was just black and white, like nothing real, like super special, but the stories were really great. Just an anthology, but you had one story. Again, won't spoil stuff, but it was like a pet that if you don't feed it, it turns into a monster, and it's like given as a gift during Christmas. It was really good. Another was like this big Santa battle royale where Mall Santa has to fight Robot Santa. It was awesome. Then there's also a plot twist at the end, really cool. And then I'm trying to remember. Oh, and then I think the other one was like this girl is like fighting all these demons on Christmas, which was really funny and cool. But all around really solid. And then the creators, I know you like a lot, like when the creators will like chime in at the end, and I really enjoyed that as well. But they give you 5 Christmas horror films to watch that are their favorites. So I just enjoyed, and then he tells you why he likes those movies, like a personal story. It's just a phenomenal comic right here. I love this. This actually gave me a lot of holiday cheer and just like put me in the spirit. So
were you pouring that glass of eggnog and then slipping some red food coloring in there?
Not tonight. I like my eggnog in my coffee. So that's for the morning. Eggnog and coffee is good.
Oh my gosh. Mark and his candy cane coughing over here. Jeez Louise. Yeah. All right. Shout out to creators that do that too. I love that about those Archie horror books. Gosh. Yeah, I got to keep my eye out for more of those too. I always enjoy that imprint. I still have a ton to read of like the older stuff, like the original Jughead, The Hunger, Werewolf books and stuff, Vampironica, all that. I got all that. So I have a lot of work ahead of me, boys.
Those are great.
Yeah. Well, eggnog and vodka. I mean, you're not wrong, Chad, but what else? You had something else to lift up.
Oh, absolutely. If you'll remember, a few months back, we had Winston Gambro on a comic book look, and we'd all just read his book digitally. He was nice enough to let us read it. Yeah. And super cool guy when he came on here, very humble, very cool. And then the comic was awesome. And then I just feel so good to hold this in my hands now. And then we've got another 5 issues, I believe, coming. So this did actually come out today in print, though. So definitely go out and get it. It comes with our highest recommendation.
Heck yeah. It was such a fun read, you guys. And Winston is just such a good soul. And yeah, I'm going to probably be hitting him up here soon for another logo or 2 as well. He just does the best work ever. So love it, love it, love it.
Absolutely.
Well, good. Well, again, you guys, this was just a kind of a quick flight tonight, as we said in the description. Mark and I are definitely looking forward to getting some R&R this evening. But definitely hopefully you guys had just a terrific Thanksgiving week with family and friends, and that you had fun on Black Friday if you had a chance to visit your local comic book store, or any other sales for that matter too. Personally, for me, I was looking on Amazon for a couple of like office-y things and stuff, so it wasn't anything too exciting. But getting that comic down in Sioux City from my friend Gabriel Prez was a lot of fun too. So more to come on all that. Oh gosh, there's a lot of cool things in the fire right now. But I guess anything else you wanted to lift up, or should we just shut it down? We're gonna shut it down right at the 30-minute mark. Oh snap! Well, you guys, I am John on Demand. That is Mark C. Shelton 1 on most platforms. We are a Comic Book Look. Tom and Sam were not able to join us this evening, but they will be back for future weeks, and hopefully we'll get some fun Yuletide plans made for the show and have some fun themed ones too, because those are always kind of a hoot. But Mark, we can do the outro. We are the outro. I was today years old that I realized that we could do the outro. That's amazing. Oh yeah. Chad is saying, I may have to get that book. Excellent, Chad. Just hit up Rainbow, Facebook them. They can stash one in your pull box for you. And yeah, Chad, thank you so much, man. It was good to hear from you as well. You, Tony, thank you guys so much for just, supporting the show and having fun with it. And you're still stuck with me, don't worry. Um, so if I ever am like, I'm never going to do a comic book look again, I know for sure I'll have 3 people that are on the show that'll say absolutely not, plus the people in the comments for sure. So, but until next time, I'm going to say keep it comics, and I'm going to pass it over to Mark.
Back in the boarding's never boring.
And we'll see you guys next week. And hopefully we'll have a Sam and a Tom or a Tom. We'll see. Holiday gets kind of crazy, but we'll figure it out. And we'll see you guys soon. Bye.